and ting. Them checks say we hip and ting. True, them no know and ting. We have them going and ting. Now pop no style, all strictly roots. Now pop no style, all strictly roots. See me on the road and you not call out to me. Do you see me in my pants and ting? See me in my altar back. Say me give you heart attack. Give me little bass, make me wind up my waist. Uptown top ranking. See me in my Benz and ting. Dolly true Constant Spring. Them checks say we come from Cosmo Spring, but the true them no know and ting. Them no know say we top ranking. Uptown top ranking. Should I see me on the ranking dread? Check out we jamming and ting.
And hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday void seems to turn into love song. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always bleed. La Vie en Rose.
Buenos Aires. El puerto de Santa María del Lungani.
Ay, milonga de amor. Para vos.
De Argentina. Buenos Aires. Argentina. Buenos Aires. El puerto de Santa María del Lungani.
Friday night, you and your boys went out to eat. Then they hung out, but you came home around 3. Yes, you did. If 6 of y'all went out, then 4 of you were really cheap. Yeah, 'cause only 2 of you had dinner. I found your credit card receipt. It's not right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it anyway. Pack your bag up and leave. I'm packing back so you can leave town for a week. Yes, I am. The phone ring, and then you look at me. I turn and look at you. You said it was one of your friends down on 54th Street, boy. So why did 2 and 3 show up on your call ID? Oh, I've been through all this before. Don't think about it, don't think about it. Get gone, get gone. Things are got to change, baby. You don't stand no chance, boy. I say, yeah, yeah, so quiet. Shh, shh. It's oh so still. Shh, shh. You're all alone. Shh, shh. And so peaceful until you fall in love. Simple, the sky up above. Simple is caving in. Wow, wow. You never been so nuts about a guy you wanna love. You wanna cry, you cross your heart and hope to die till it's over. And then shh, shh. It's nice and quiet. Shh, shh. But soon again, shh, shh. Starts another big riot. You blow a fuse. Simple, the devil can't lose. Simple, so what's the use? Wow, wow, of falling in love. It's oh so quiet. It's oh so still. You're all alone. And so peaceful until you ring that bell. Big bell. Shout and you yell. How you broke the spell. This is swell, you almost have a fit. This guy's coach and I got hit. There's no mistake. This is it! Till it's over and
Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press
of the amazing woman that was Kim Scott. Many are still reeling from the shock of her unexpected death 7 weeks ago. Kim's cancer returned in January 2024. Though there were quite a period of reflection and some lifestyle amendments of her treatment, Kim continued to live her life, enjoying keeping busy with work and her colleagues and taking every chance to soak up time with family and friends. She lived life in her own way and in her inimitable style. Right up until the beginning, her extended hospital stay in August. Her passing has left everyone stunned and bereft, a vacuum left in her wake which has been difficult to fulfill. So first a poem called The Unfinished by Viktor Frankl. We cannot judge a biography by its length, nor by the number of pages in it. Judge it by the richness of its contents. Sometimes those unfinished are among the most poignant. Do not judge a song by its duration, nor by the number of its notes. Judge it by the way it touches and lifts the soul. Sometimes those unfinished are among the most beautiful. And when something has enriched your life, and when its melody lingers in your heart, is it unfinished or is it endless? My name is Joanna Mutlow, accredited by Humanist UK to be the celebrant today in this ceremony, which has been put together with the help of Kim's dearest friends and family. We decided to tell a story of Kim's life as a series of chapters, and given that she had such a rich and eventful life of many dimensions and connections, there will be 8 chapters to our story. Thank you for your contributions. Safi and Tom have so enjoyed your tributes and messages. My apologies that I've had to edit and weave them into our chapters, but if they were read in full, we would never get round to the food and dancing. So let us start with a beautiful tribute from Kim's sister, Anne-Marie Dixon-Barrow, OBE, who's forgotten her reading glasses.
You have to forgive me because I've forgotten my reading glasses, so I'll be moving in and out. In loving memory of Kim. Kim, my darling sister, is no longer here, but her enigmatic personality, that spark, that flare, that impossible to bottle energy lives on in her children and grandchildren. Every time I see that flash of her wit, her stubborn streak, or that effortless sense of style, I think, that's Kim, still running the show somewhere in the background. She was definitely running the show at the burial this morning, I can say that. A song that keeps popping into my feed lately asks, how do you say goodbye to somebody that you've known for your whole damn life? Well, the answer is simple. You don't. You can't. You try with bloody difficulty, and you do your best to hold on to the laughter, the chaos, and the love that was Kim. Kim and I shared what can only be described as a wonderfully bohemian growing up in Wiltshire. We had our own little world full of curiosity, art, and mischief. Trips to Mum's friends in Bradford and Avon, where we'd all sit on the steps of our 3 aunties and watch the world go by. And let me tell you, those poor church ladies visiting the little chapel at the end of the lane never expected to find 3 little black girls sitting in a row, giggling, laughing, and putting the world to right. We gave them a right shock, and we loved every second of it. My mum came out later in life, and I think it's been a shock to a couple of people today who I'd obviously forgotten to tell. But, like I always do, and Kim always did. But Kim and I always knew that Auntie Wendy, Auntie Hal, and Auntie Barbara weren't just my mum's dear friends. They were part of her chosen family. Every summer they'd whisk us away to Devon and Cornwall, visiting our Grace Aunt Jo. It was a world of sea, long drives and laughter, and Kim thrived on it all. She adored the country houses, the art galleries, the bookshops, and the living museums. That was her, cultured, inquisitive, with a touch of class. I used to groan at it all. She used to drag me behind her around yet another stately home or sculpture path. And I'd say, Kim, you should have shares in Chatsworth House and Yorkshire Sculpture Park. She'd just laugh because she knew I'd eventually enjoy it anyway. Kim's sense of fashion was legendary. She worked in the coolest boutique in Leeds, Boudoir, and I'm really honoured to say that Marion and Clive it still lives long in our heart. And she made everyone know that she worked at Boudoir, and I worked at a slightly, at that time, inferior shop called Leander. But I was quickly poached to join Kim at Boudoir. She was the older sister everyone dreams of having. She was cultured, she was sassy, a little bit crazy, and definitely stubborn. Those who knew her well, can probably smile knowingly at that, because Kim was the stubbornest person I know. Maybe slightly after her other sister, Anne-Marie. But also, Kim loved her music. And through Thomas's dad, she introduced me to Van Morrison, and that's a love of music I still have in the stage with me. For those who knew Kim as well, she loved luxury. Food, travel, fashion, gardens, and anything that smelled beautiful. She found joy in the details, the texture of the scarf, the scent of lavender, and the way the garden came alive in the summer. One of my fondest memories of Kim was Kim teaching me and Vivi to make candles in my kitchen in Reading. There she was, completely in her element, giving instructions, telling us both what to do, then laughing at it all herself. When it went slightly pear-shaped. That was Kim. Creative, bossy, funny, and utterly endearing. We shared so many Christmases together. Some lovely, some absolutely stressful. One year on Christmas Eve, the chimney decided to empty its entire load into our sitting room while Mum was out shopping. The three of us just stood there, laughing, looking around at the mess. Eventually we cleared it all up. Mum was none the wiser when she got home. But Kim, this is my will. Kim had this way of finding beauty in everything. And she was so much more cultured and elegant than I am, but she never quite believed that. So today, as we remember Kim, I won't say goodbye. Instead, I'll say thank you. Thank you for the laughter, the love, the lessons, and the mischief. Thank you for teaching me about art, about life, about courage. And thank you for being the sister who stood beside me through joy and every stress that we have. You made me go, my darling sister, but your spirit, your laughter, your beauty, they all live on in your children and your grandchildren. So here's to Kim, cultured, sassy, stubborn, stylish, and utterly, utterly unforgettable. May we all live with the memories that we have of my darling sister.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Your tribute sets the tone of our storytelling today, which must include laughter and wonder, as well as sadness and loss. So let's walk through the 8 chapters of Kim's life, where we will definitely hear of the themes of resilience, defiance, mischief, creativity, and uniqueness that are woven through her life. So firstly, let's start with chapter 1, early life and teenage years. So Kim was born on the 26th of April 1961 to Dorothy Dixon Barrow, a Jamaican, and Elton Barrow, a Trinidadian, and had a childhood in Wiltshire at Bratton, Bradford-on-Avon and Trowbridge until she was 8 or 9 years old. Her father Elton had died when she was 2, leaving Dorothy a single parent. Kim was born a twin with Claire and their sister Anne-Marie a year younger, The three girls went on to take Mansfield and then Leeds by storm. Leeds was where they had their teenage years. Kim always has lots of friends. She was so lively and interesting. The sisters did not squabble, but they took their own life courses. Kim loved art and culture and made her own clothes, which meant that she cut a stylish and individual figure. Sadly, Claire's life took a wilder path, and she died in tragic circumstances while still in her teens. Let us acknowledge Claire's life alongside her twin today, recognising the strength and resilience of the Dixon Barrow women to just get on with it. In Leeds, Kim's first boss, Marion Marchant, who we've already mentioned, remembers her when she applied for a Saturday job at the prestige boutique Boudoir at the age of 14 or 15. This was just the coolest place to work in Leeds, where Marion remembers Kim as a lovely, genuine lady who was so proud of her family. Kim was godmother to Marion's youngest daughter, Georgina. We now turn to Kim in her 20s. The second chapter is told by Julia Smith, who met Kim at Leicester Polytechnic 45 years ago. We met on the first day, two working class women from Leeds and Liverpool, and we remained close friends ever since. We worked together around any social barriers that were in our way, but also combined that with a wicked sense of humour. When we raised the issue of more favourable treatment, like granting deadline extensions to middle-class, articulate fellow students for very weak reasons, we were told, "But you are so much richer than them in life due to your backgrounds." We looked at each other and said we'd rather have the money. We both worked in bars in Leicester to support ourselves and worked in some awful factories during the summer break. No going home to comfortable family holidays for us. But we also enjoyed ourselves. Never seen in a student bar without a pint out in our hands, and our favourite hobby was people watching in what was then the new romantic era. Kim graduated with something no one else on a degree course ever achieved. Kim went into labour with Tom while sitting on the floor at a John Martin concert during her final degree year. Studying and being a new mum meant her life was turned upside down. Accommodation in Leicester had to be found, and she commuted every weekend to be with Tom's dad. But she did it. Tom was guest of honour in his high chair at our graduation lunch. So thank you, Julia. Do you just want to wave so we know who Julia is? Up the back there, thank you. Stella Scott, Kim's sister-in-law, picks up the story next, remembering visiting a somewhat apprehensive Kim when Tom was a newborn in 1982. Tom had been born early and was tiny. But next time they met, Kim was confident and loved being a mother. With two boys herself, Stella remembers how they mixed at family gatherings, and she appreciated how Kim supported her through difficult times and how she continued to visit Granny. Attentive and loving with the old and the young, she always went the extra mile. Kim had the best words at some of the worst moments. So thank you, Stella. Does Stella want to just wave to us as well? Thank you. Now let's hear from Hannah O'Brien, who first met Kim in the 1980s as a colleague of her late mum, Jane. Jane and Kim would spend hours on the phone, laughing and talking and putting the world to rights. Alongside Carol and June, they made unforgettable memories of holidays together, music, dancing, and a fair amount of mischief along the way. There was always fun, always colour, and always a deep sense of unwavering connection. They loved their vibrant clothes, their fashion magazines, often with a drink in one hand and, back in those days, a cigarette in the other. And music, always music, usually reggae, playing in the background of their lives. And after Jane died, Kim's presence in Hannah's life became something more precious, carrying forward their love and friendship with her, Ira, and Jake. Hannah, does she want to give a wave up there? Thank you. Thank you, Hannah. And now to our third contributor in this chapter, Muriel Reid, who first met Kevin in 1985 when she started a relationship with her mum, Dorothy. Dorothy was very anxious about what her daughters would think of this, and for a while they did not meet. Eventually, Dorothy plucked up courage to tell them, and they both laughed and said they'd always known. When they were young, Dorothy would sit with her friend in their best tweed trousers, smoking a pipe, which was a bit of a giveaway. Muriel felt at ease with Kim and Anne-Marie straight away and knew they could be friends. A little while later, Kim decided to move to Sheffield, and she and Simon bought a house in Hunter Hill Road and both had jobs in Sheffield. Kim made friends with other young mothers nearby, but also with other young black women who knew Dorothy through her work with Sadaka and Black Health work. Their friendship circles overlapped. Kim was always outgoing and warm, and Muriel and Dorothy frequently popped in for tea and to see Tom. So thank you, Muriel. Do you want to wave to us as well? Hi. Now we turn to chapter 3, so you have to pace yourself because we're going for 8 chapters. Chapter 3, the Rasta years. So Muriel picks up the story again when she recalls how when Kim got together with Byron Allison around 1990, her style changed. She grew her hair into locks and wore beautiful African fabrics and embraced the Rasta ideas. But she did it with her own take as ever, and remained modern and stylish. The arrival of Sophia was a great joy for everyone. Kim had several black women friends who'd also decided to embark on another pregnancy later in life, and they seemed to have a great time together enjoying the experience. Essentially, Kim created a group of friends around her who supported each other and looked after each other's children and had fun together. Byron died earlier this year, leaving Safi as in a matter of months a new mother and an orphan. Although Byron and Kim had separated, their bond was deep and they continued to be fond and dear companions. So let us remember Byron today as well, for his significance in Kim's life. Patricia Allison, Byron's niece, first met her Auntie Kim in her late teens, when she found out to her amusement that her Uncle Byron had a new girlfriend. At that point, she didn't know that big people did such things, but from the off, Kim and she got on. Patricia would head round to hit Kim and Byron's every Sunday she was in Sheffield, partly for the food, because you always got fed at Kim's, and partly to see her uncle and aunt. Patricia admired Kim's quick, matter-of-fact wit, often delivered in a way that only someone who was equally mischievous could truly appreciate. And yet, for all her humour, she carried herself with such class and deep spiritual intelligence. She could make you laugh and think, often in the same breath. Patricia noted how Kim really did have a calm, grounding energy that could soften even her uncle's most. She wasn't a pushover, far from it, but she always chose peace unless she had to choose otherwise. And even then, she did it in such a classy way, blink and you'd miss it. She was right by Byron's side to the very end. That kind of strength and devotion said everything about their version of love. Thank you, Patricia. Do you want to give us a wave? Thank you. And let us turn now to Tom's memories of that time. I vividly remember all the new music being played at home. Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs, the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner Black Uhuru album, and of course, Bob Marley. I had the Legend VHS, which was regularly watched. And Sata Masagana. It wasn't until I was older that I realized the lyric was, there's a land far, far away, not there's a lamb far, far away. With the growing importance of music in her life, my stepdad Byron came into our lives, and I remember going up to the shop and climbing into the speaker box speakers in his first shop in Spittal Hill. Around this time, he would go to many community events with Mum, my grandma Dorothy, and her partner Muriel at Sadaka. Music in the sun with Byron at Don Valley Bowl and Sadaka once, and as a 6-year-old, following Manchester Carnival, going to a can I say this right? Nyabingi? Nyabingi, which is a Rastafarian spiritual drumming ritual, where I can vaguely recollect going down into the basement with lots of drumming and lots of smoke. One of my fondest childhood memories with my mum was when she became Rasta, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, after being at school slightly further away to go to a more multicultural school, and going to Joan with her kids, Desta and Isaac, then Bev and her kids, Donovan and Ben, as childminders during the week, and very long walks home before Mum could drive. We'd go to get meat and fish in the Old Castle Market on Saturdays to prepare for Caribbean-style Sunday dinner, of variations of red snapper, ackee and saltfish, brown chicken with rice and peas, hard dough bread, either boiled or fried dumplings, and far too much Encona hot sauce for a young child. I did also still have sneaky bacon sarnies when I'd go and stay with Jane and Ira in weekend sleepovers, though. I particularly loved our Sunday mornings and afternoons when Mum would have been to a blues party on a Saturday, and we'd get the covers down and watch TV in the front room with the fan heater far too close while Mum dozed. She later confirmed she was hungover. My mum gradually became less Rasta as she was pregnant. She had my sister Sevilla when I was 9. I remember going down to my grandma's and drawing a picture of Saf on her computer and telling her that Saf being born was the best thing that had ever happened to me. And when Mum came home with Saf sleeping on my chest a lot while Mum got on with the tasks at home. We had a lovely family times in this era too, with me being the only male in my grandma's women's-only birthday parties just before Christmas, with Mum and Muriel at Cherry Tree and Steed Road, with Grandma Dorothy, Muriel and Anne-Marie and her husband Chris, Mum's nephew Oscar and Lucas, Muriel's Ben and Kathy, Mum, myself and Byron, and of course Saf. A very modern, blended family for lovely and quite extravagant Christmases. Thank you, Tom, for those happy memories. And we have a contribution now from Helena McFarlane, Kim's friend for over 4 decades, who says, "Some friendships are written long before we meet, and mine with Kim was surely one of them. We first crossed paths through my childhood friend Mia, and from that moment our connection blossomed into a lifelong bond filled with laughter, love, and shared memories that will forever remain in my heart. Over the years, our families grew close. We celebrated milestones, shared countless happy gatherings, and filled our lives with the simple joy of being together. Whether we were dancing at parties, enjoying soulful blue nights, or taking part in cultural and spiritual times, Kim's radiant energy always lit up the room. She was exuberant, loving, intelligent, and strong. Someone who faced life with courage and embraced every experience with passion and gratitude. Kim had a deep love for the natural world. She found peace outdoors and saw beauty in the smallest wonders. In her final year, even as her health declined, Kim's strength never wavered. Her grace in facing life's challenges was a reflection of the compassionate and resilient soul she was. She lived fully, loved deeply, and left a mark on every heart she touched. Kim and Byron were true friends, wise, steady, and full of kindness. Their friendship was one you could always depend on, and their presence brought comfort and joy to all who knew them. Thank you, Helena. Again, can we have a wave? Is Helena here? Hi, thank you. Lastly, let us hear from Safi what she remembers of her childhood in those Rasta years. She remembers her mum taking her almost everywhere, to the shop, to work events, adult-only weddings, extravagant shopping trips, or to the garden centre. There weren't many moments where she wasn't by her side as a child. Because of this, Safi was exposed to the arts and wonders of what you can learn from it. From as early as 5 years old, she was going to Shakespeare plays at Renishaw Hall, watching Ballet Rombert's Ghost Dance, or seeing the seasonal ballet at the Lyceum. Kim was a deeply loving mother, though never one to utter the 3 words or pull you into a warm and long embrace. Her love language was providing her kids with wisdom, experiences and opportunities that she worked so hard to get. Thank you, Safi. So we're now on the 4th chapter of Kim's story, and then there were more. Kim's mother, Dorothy Dixon Barrow, was a vibrant and independent character and a well-respected and influential member of the communities of Sheffield. On Dorothy's death in December 2001, letters were discovered going back 20 years between her and a woman called Vivine, who seemed to know all about the family's lives. Kim somehow tracked Vivine down into the Cayman Islands and called to explain that Dorothy had died a few months ago. When Vivine began to cry, Kim asked who Dorothy was to her, to which Vivine replied, her mum, and everyone teared up. In the following years, Kim and Anne-Marie went to visit their sister and her children, Andrew, Leslie Ann, Michael and Chiara, in the Cayman Islands, happy to expand their family connections. Through Vivine, a large family in America was discovered, including the families of Dorothy's twin Norma and their other siblings. Vivine takes up the story next. I am the eldest, but did not have the privilege of growing up with any of my siblings. I grew up just looking on pictures of my little sisters in England and wished for the day that we would meet. I only met Kim shortly after our mum passed away. Then we spoke over the phone and shared emails and pictures of our families. We met up for the first time when Kim visited us in the Cayman Islands. Sometime after that, I visited England and we continued to share wonderful memories together. Driving around the countryside was a delight, visiting where our mum is buried, historic sites like the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, Chinatown in Manchester, Chatsworth House. One weekend, we ran our sister's African clothing shop in Reading while she was away. That was an experience. We have shared many happy moments with other family members at our reunions, including at Coniston Gardens in the Lake District and Walcott Hall, Shropshire. We almost had another at Wuthering Heights, Yorkshire, scheduled for October. Kim was a delight to be around, and it hurts to see your loved ones suffer and little or nothing you can do, but feel their pain in your heart. I will really miss Kim, and I look forward to seeing her again when sickness, pain, and suffering and death will be something of the past, and we can enjoy each other's company once more. Thank you, Vivine. Have we got? Yes, thank you. Now let's hear from another older sister, Suzette, who was also discovered after Dorothy died. Suzette tells how their connection began not in childhood but in adulthood, where their conversations and texts were filled with reflections on life's journey. She says, through our talks, we shared stories about our families, our children, and most tenderly, memories of our mum. Kim would show me black and white photos of her, snapshots of a time I never got to see. And behind each photo was a story that brought my mother's spirit to life. My daughters, Beverly and Audrey, also got to share a special connection with Auntie Kim. They would exchange updates about family vacations and life events, keeping the thread of family strong across the continents. Though miles separated us, my sister Kim made the distance feel smaller with her warmth and care. Getting to know my sister even later in life was one of the greatest gifts I could have received. I'm deeply grateful for the time we shared, and I only wish we had more of it. I will carry her stories, her kindness, and her courage with me always. Thank you, Suzette. Thank you. So our next chapter is about Kim's professional success. With her many skills and talents, as well as her indefatigable energy, it's no wonder that Kim was a valued and esteemed colleague in the workplace. She had professional success in various community roles, and Neelam, Sophie, Hilary and Yvonne, colleagues at Places for People, have compiled the following story of Kim in the social housing world. Kim's housing story began at United Kingdom Housing Trust as a neighbourhood community officer in 1990, where she worked with communities to ensure that their concerns were heard as part of the major housing projects that the Housing Trust were developing in partnership with Sheffield City Council. Kim was trusted by the communities that she worked with and was astute and strong in ensuring that she got their voices heard. When the merger with North British came about in 1992, Kim's role changed to working with the supported housing department, and she was instrumental in building up the business in South Yorkshire. By now, she'd started to build a reputation for making things happen and quickly became a key, respected colleague. At the point when North British became Places for People, Kim was a senior leader and was asked to oversee the transfer in of Cush, a housing association in London. This was an incredibly tough challenge that meant Kim was spending much time in London as well as doing her normal job. When she returned, it wasn't long before she was on to a new challenge of leading the supported housing business as managing director until making the decision to leave in 2016. To this day, Kim is fondly thought of and highly respected within the social housing sector by all who knew her. Karen Perkins' working and personal life has been interwoven with Kim's, and she tells in her tribute. In 1989, I got a housing manager job in a forward-thinking, diverse social housing partnership where Kim was a community development worker. Over 7 years, we worked with communities across Sheffield to involve local people in the development of new social rented housing. We took on and built over 1,200 homes, and Kim was very skilled in helping people access housing and support services. In 1997, in a takeover by the National Places for People group, I became Kim's boss in a restructuring, but her leadership and business acumen always shone through, and soon she became regional housing manager in Nottingham, so we were equals again. Whilst working in Nottingham, she continued her calm, effective impact, turned around a number of challenging housing schemes, and super motivated the staff teams there. In 2011, she was promoted to Director of Care Services, Director of Operations across Places for People with a massive budget. She was the first black woman director there, and she was my boss again. Kim has a knack for taking on difficult subjects, services, or problems, getting to the root of it and encouraging all the staff, committee members and stakeholders to embrace the inclusive, impactful ideas she developed. I don't know how to say this, but she wouldn't put up with any crap. Yet she had the most positive, strategic and compassionate way of delivering that message. Kim started working at Cavendish Cancer Care in 2012 as a community and peer support manager, setting up an innovative, inclusive cancer information hub and outreach info across Sheffield to those most affected by cancer. She encouraged me to volunteer in 2018, then was my co-worker and latterly my boss again in the Cancer Info Hub on the Moor Market until 2023. Like a lot of senior women, we both faced redundancy again in our late 60s, but Kim quickly found a role as care coordinator, social prescriber, building on her links with communities and most affected by cancer when running the Cancer Information Hub. Those services have been modelled and taken forward by Western Park Cancer Charity, so her brilliant legacy is still helping communities access support and information. Thank you, Karen. Perhaps anyone who's worked with Kim would like to just wave so we know where you are. Thank you. Thank you. So Sophie, another colleague from People Places, pointed out as well as Kim's amazing achievement, she had incredible style in her professional life, always looking fabulous, teaming together the most amazing colours and designs, which were very Kim, so she could wear a dress by George with a designer handbag and her Chanel glasses and look like $1 million. So Kim's children were always in the wings of her career, and Tom remembers in the early 90s going with Kim to a black managers conference where he was plonked into a play scheme, but this was in a Swallows hotel with swimming pools. At the time, this felt like the most luxurious experience ever. At one of these events, some members of the Real McCoy show performed, but Tom spent most of the time they were on stage sliding around the floor with the other children. So on to chapter 6 now, Years of Plenty. Kim did like the finer things in life: handbags, perfumes, scarves, holidays, garden visits. Then there were some years of plenty. And this is our 6th chapter of Kim's life story. A fatter salary meant more spending power. And Tom remembers. Mum, Saf and Byron had many adventurous holidays, including Walcott, of course. And Mum started eating out at fancier restaurants. I was away, starting my life in Scotland, but Mum, Byron and Saf, and sometimes her friends, seemed to be having a fantastic time. Mum getting her directorship at PFP coincided with me having my own health issues in Scotland, but with the fruits of Mum's career progression, she was able to support me and my partner in Edinburgh with regular visits. Kim's friend, Leslie Moulton, recalls these years of plenty and Kim's passion for holidays, weekend breaks and travelling. Whether going solo to Sweden or with a family to Sardinia and goodness knows where else, the mention of the name Walcott put a whole new meaning to going away. Standing proudly on the Welsh borders in the Shropshire Hills, it is a stately home of the parish family, Walcott Hall. With a genuine desire to give us city folk a true experience of living in the deep countryside, the owners have shared their home with whoever wishes to visit. Kim was smitten by the glorious gardens, the expansive grounds, and the night sky far away from cities and street lamps. The pace of daily life slowed right down, guaranteeing inner peace. We stayed there many times, usually with children, grandchildren, partners, friends, and husbands. Byron was definitely at home there. He would stand upright and proud, surveying the surrounding landscape. Byron was part of the Walcott magic. If I'm ever there again, I will find my way to the secret garden, where in the evening we will raise our glasses in remembrance of a beautiful person called Kim, who made such an indelible mark on our lives. Thank you, Leslie. Again, do you want to wave? Thank you. And Karen Perkins recalls some of the shopping in this chapter, a few expensive treat handbags and a Hermes wristband. She, Caroline, Deborah, Viv and Lorna would happily accompany Kim on shopping jaunts in Leeds or Bicester and egg her on in exchange for perfume tips. Joan Williams offers these thoughts about her longtime friend Kim. There was never a dull moment with Kim. She was kind and caring. She would light up any occasion with joy and laughter. There was no room in her heart for darkness, just peace and love, coupled with designer handbags. She never settled for less, and she would never let those around her do so either. She would wear Primark like it was Versace, turn water into Prosecco, and any in the picnic in the park into a fine dining experience. Her boundaries were the horizon, and she would take anyone there who wanted to go. Don't have any expectations, she told me, so your expectations will always be surpassed by the outcomes, which, if she'd had a hand in them, would always be good. Her dreams were big, but she always found a way to make them come true through hard work, whilst making it seem effortless. Thank you, Joan. Again, can you wave to us? There at the back, thank you. Safi was keen to include Kim's friend Mardo. Have I said that right, Mado or Mardo? Mado, in these tributes today. Safi was living in Australia for most of their adventures, but believes it would be regretful to not mention this today. Mum and Mado went way back in the way that people's lives and stories in Sheffield intertwine and blend. Mado was the aunt of my oldest friend, and I believe she knew my grandma too. She was a beautiful, eccentric woman, and with very little effort, she could convince my mum to go on various yoga trips to yoga festivals, and got my mum into wearing their infamous bright and bold yoga pants. It was one of the messages from Mum after a day out with Mado was, Mado says I'm flowering, which is exactly the kind of magic Mado could spread. Mado sadly passed away in 2020, but she reignited the creative and carefree side of Mum that she so wanted to discover after leaving PFP. And for that, I'll be forever grateful. Thank you, Safi. And again, we nod to those who've already left life in gratitude for their memories and legacies they leave in their wake. Safi goes on with her tribute to Kim. Mum and I were extremely similar and polar opposites at the same time. Best friends, or even sisters at times, who didn't know how to exist without the other. We would often compare ourselves to Eddie and Safi from Absolutely Fabulous, which we would watch together while cackling out loud at their ridiculousness. There were very few boundaries between us, with frequent phone calls and messages sent through the day. I once counted that we'd spoken on the phone 8 times in a day, and that doesn't count the messaging in between. It's safe to say that our mother-daughter relationship grew as I grew older, and we found that we could enjoy each other's company with great ease. The trips to garden centres turned into trips abroad to Portugal or Ibiza, where we would lounge, Mum usually on the phone with her glasses halfway down her nose, or have slow days visiting nice bars, cafes and markets. And of course, we couldn't go anywhere without her buying a perfume or some expensive soap. Thank you, Safi. That leads us nicely into the next chapter, the 7th of 8, if you're pacing yourselves. This one is retirement, but not quite. Kim was never going to be a traditional retiree. Of course, it became the opportunity to spend more time with her friends, but also the drive to set up a business with Safi, Alchemy and Aura. Safi was living in Australia, but Kim somehow roped her into managing their social media and communications. She was exploring her passion for perfume making and did not really care much for the business side. So in classic Kim fashion, she delegated and told Safi she had to help her because she was her mum. Over to Safi again. Mum was an interesting person to work with. She was the most defiant person I've ever met. If she didn't agree, she would dismiss and do whatever she wanted anyway, usually with the cheekiest grin and a tongue stuck out just to rub it in. However, she had a nose for and a knowledge of fragrances that I could never match. She could recognize the hint of neroli in a candle or balance the notes in a blend with certainty and ease. I really hope to continue the business that she so lovingly built, a legacy that I want to build on to keep our passion alive for her 4 granddaughters. So good luck with that, Safi. Kim's flexible time in retirement meant that she could really spend time with her dear friends, and we know Kim's friendships were long-term, close and deep. Let's hear now from 2 of those friends. June Cattell comments on this next. Wherever Kim went, she made friends. She could talk with anyone and always got a friendly response. People liked her because she listened to them, laughed with them, and had a wide range of interests and a genuine warmth, and did not judge. She had friends stretching back from all times of her life. Family friends, university friends, work friends, people in the next bed in the hospital, friends from the community, neighbours, holiday friends, and people she found quirky and interesting that she picked up on the way. I really loved her as a friend, a friendship that developed over the last 20 years. We talked about many things together, the ups and downs of family life, things we would like to do. We gossiped about our friends, discussed the good and bad things about work, the latest television series. We considered politics and what was going on in the world. Decluttering was also a recurrent topic, but not often acted upon. And of course, clothes and fashion, which I knew nothing about compared to Kim. We shared many problems together, and she was good at seeing the issues and cutting to the core of the problem and offering possible solutions that you may not have thought about, but she never imposed. We talked a lot about her illness from the time she first discovered she had cancer. She always tried to be positive and was very clear that she did not want to ask how long the doctors thought she had. But the fact that her life may be shortened was always in the back of her mind. It was so important to her that life carried on as normal, even when she found things tough. There were, of course, ups and downs, the disguised anxiety when we went to see the consultant, celebration when there was no change, and phlegmatic acceptance when the news was not so good. Thank you, June. Do you want to give us a wave? There. And now another friend, Carol Goodwin, offers the following tribute. I got to know Kim closely through a women's group who supported our friend Jane Greetham during her illness and death in 2011. Every week, Kim was there at the end of an insanely busy work week, offering comfort, empathetic listening, warmth, practical help, invaluable advice, and zaniness. She loved fun, and her holidays, weekends away, trips out, and cafes with good food. As though her working years had deprived her of many of these experiences, she was determined to cram them all in her semi-retirement. She was keen to try anything, however strange or new. St. David's in a group hostel, Seville in a cute riad, Lancashire Gardens and art galleries, birding in Norfolk. Kim became just as important for our trips as our pyjamas. Thank you, Carol. Give us a wave. So we're on the final chapter, chapter 8, Grandma Extraordinaire. So this chapter is about 4 little people, the latest in the Dixon-Barrow dynasty, Romy, Essie, Margot and Mabel, at least one of whom already has the mark of her grandma and great-grandma's quirky, strong-headed individuality. It is in the passing on of influence from generation to generation that human life extends beyond its single span, and family traits and qualities endure. Tom's partner's mother, Rosie Rutherford, tells how she and Kim shared something truly special in becoming grandmothers for the first time together when Romy was born. They both knew just how hard the road had been to see this happy new family arrival. It was clear how deeply Kim loved being a grandma and how much Romy and now Essie enjoyed speaking to her and spending time in Sheffield with her. Kim and Rosie shared many happy exchanges on different grandmother moments and the different stages the girls went through. Rosie says that Kim's warmth, creativity and devotion as a grandmother will always be remembered and has surely left a strong imprint, opening possibilities of what the girls might enjoy in the years ahead. So thank you, Rosie. Does she want to wave? Where's she? Oh, she's actually with the grandchildren. So let's hear now from Tom, his partner Steph and Safi about this last chapter of Grandma in Kim's life. So first, Tom. In her later years, Kim developed a number of quirks that were equally annoying, funny, and endearing, always asking for back massages, no matter how tired you were, talking all the way through almost all the movies, so they had to be rewatched, very long lies in bed and asking for constant teas and toast, but never finishing either of them, but still asking for more, and being borderline demanding when we treat her every Christmas and birthday. She was a wonderful grandma who loved being a grandma to all of her granddaughters, taking pleasure in reading to them and chatting to them on FaceTime. We'll all miss her greatly, especially at Christmas. I know Romy in particular has lovely memories with her grandma at Christmas, and in recent years trying to teach each other crochet and knitting. Well done. Thank you, Tom. Now Tom's partner, Steph, tells us next about how their relationship was different from many mother-daughter-in-law relationship. Tom's medical misadventures meant that they experienced a number of challenging times together, which gave her the opportunity of getting to know all sides of Kim. We held our breath, each other's hands, and found humour together in the darkest of time, and then shared relief and joy throughout Tom's rebuilding. On her visits to Scotland during this time, we shared quiet days together, filled with endless cups of tea, or half cups of tea in Kim's case, exploring pockets of Edinburgh, chatting and laughing before watching films together in the evenings. What became abundantly clear through the years is just how much of Kim's determination and downright stubbornness Tom has inherited. Sophia also has a healthy dose. And just how much of it got him through the toughest of times. It's this same determination that I know will serve Tom and Saf well in this most difficult chapter at the end of an incredibly challenging year. Kim's drive and determination became very apparent in 2018 following her initial diagnosis, and yet again in 2024 when she relapsed. There were times when her diagnosis caused great anxiety and worry. However, Kim also had a brilliant and healthy, fuck it, I'm here and I will bloody well enjoy myself approach. So many of us have admired, and so many fashion retailers, perfumiers, and holiday destinations have also benefited from. In 2018 was also the year Kim became a grandmother for the first time. Romy arrived in the February, and Kim relished every opportunity spent cuddling, babbling, and FaceTiming with this little person who could keep up with grandma's chatting from about 6 weeks of age. 3 more happy, chatty, beautiful, eccentric, and determined granddaughters arrived. Margot in 2022, Essie in 23, and Mabel, who's been the brightest light in an otherwise dark 2025. She would tell us off for giving her 4 grandkids all birthdays in January and February. However, Bowden will have had delighted to watch their sales peak so early in the year. While we're all very millennial about having our kids' faces on social media, Kim delighted in shouting about her granddaughters from the rooftops as well as on Facebook. She utterly adored her girls and wanted to share them with the world. Each of them has been filled to the brim with an abundance of love, endless encouragement, signature sparkle, dance moves, and that streak of determination thanks to Grandma. And we know they'll cherish precious memories together forever. On the day that Kim died, I asked Romy how she was feeling, acknowledging that it wasn't long ago that we'd been talking about Grandad Byron's passing. Romy answered that she was feeling sad, but also a bit happy. I asked her to tell me what was making her feel happy, and she replied, well, because Grandma had a really good life, and that makes me happy. But I'm just sad that we can't see her anymore. Not for the first time, we're following the wisdom of our daughter, knowing that Grandma would have been fully on board with this sentiment. So thank you, Steph and Romy. And now Safi on Kim's final role in her life, probably her most favourite of them all. When Romy was born, Mum had a newfound sense of pride. I'm a grandma. The joy that Mum experienced is demonstrated in the shrine to Romy in her living room wall. Margot came 4 years later. A year later, Essie arrived and Mum couldn't believe yet another granddaughter. Come 2025, 2 years after Essie, Mum is telling me that it's time for a boy. And Mabel is born. 4 granddaughters. She joked that she'd wanted a grandson, but admitted that she was actually thrilled to have another granddaughter to spoil with books, glittery and colourful Bowden clothes, and for Margot in the last year, sticker books galore. When Margot was born, there was a shift in our relationship. I'd always needed my mum. When I was in Australia, I would call my parents each and every day. But I truly needed her during the time of new motherhood. Her love, her time, her advice, and naturally during this time, her money. And she provided, often with a grumble, but she was always there with her trusty sidekick, my darling dad, a few feet away ahead of her and desperate to see my go-go. Though my parents had separated when I was 18, they'd remained close and supported each other through COVID and their respective illnesses until the day my dad passed in April. They had an untraditional relationship, to say the least, a companionship. The one thing they loved so much was caring for Margot together. She gave them joy and fun in a world that could often feel heavy. It's hard to picture a world without my mum or dad, just letting themselves into my house and Margot running to show them something new and exciting. And yet I am living it now. It feels they are still here, just round the corner sometime. I feel for Mabel that she will never truly know how much my mum and dad adored her, and for Margot that she may soon forget how special her grandparents were to her. But there are photos, videos, books and music that I will share in hope of keeping their spirits alive. Thank you, Safi. So we've told the story of Kim's life in 8 chapters, woven through as it is with adventures and friendships. Muriel reminds us, however, that every human life has shades of light and dark, shadows as well as luminosity. She says, "It's tempting when we are remembering someone recently lost to only remember their outgoing, vivacious, warm and funny Kim. But I also remember the times when she was vulnerable and frightened and how that brought us closer together. She had an episode of anxiety and panic that kept her off work for a long time, when she asked for and received so much help from friends and family and worked hard to get her life back. She made big changes in her life to keep her mental health good. When Tom became ill and needed support from Kim, she had to draw on all her resources to keep herself well and be there for Tom. And latterly, through her own illness and Byron's illness, she fought to stay positive and hopeful." Thank you, Muriel, for reminding us of the complexities that lie within the human spirit, the importance of self-care and friendship, and how resilience becomes an ally in challenging times. Kim had some challenging times, but she had her allies and bounced back. And we remember her today also for those qualities. So we can all agree that this was a woman who knew how to live and how to inspire and motivate the people around her. We've heard about how Kim was a daughter, sister, partner, mother, grandmother, a true friend, a stimulating and loyal colleague and a manager, a mentor and an advocate, a culture vulture, a style guru, a conversationalist, and a listener. It is lovely that we finished with the last chapter being that of her grandparenthood, for it is in the next generation that she lives on. Her legacy, sometimes obviously, but often imperceptibly integrated into family traditions, customs, and ways. We're going to take a few moments now in quiet reflection. With every death, we have a stark reminder of the preciousness of life. We each develop our own set of beliefs and worldviews about our purpose and meaning, why we walk this life, how and where we connect, what priorities inform our actions, whether there is a higher force or a greater being, how to live authentically and find our own truths. You are invited each to your own beliefs and worldviews to take a moment now to think about what Kim's death means to you, the imprint of her energy, and the gratitude you may feel for encountering her in your life. As you ponder and reflect, you're invited to listen to La Vie en Rose, which means seeing life in pink or through pink-tinted spectacles. It is a gift to see life through a positive, optimistic lens, and Kim was someone who had that gift. The family have put together a photo reel of Kim at various times in her life, which you can enjoy as we listen. So take it away, Louis Armstrong.
To your heart and hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday void seems to turn into love song. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be La Vie en Rose.
So Tom was keen to have a song to sing together as part of our ceremony today. And you'll find the words in your service booklet. You're now invited to sing together another of Kim's favourite songs. This is by Bob Marley called Waiting in Vain. This song is all about loving in vain when love is not returned. And they say indeed that grief is love with nowhere to go. But as you sing, be reminded that although Kim is no longer with you, your love for her and hers for you is not in vain. It was and it is very real.
I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. From the very first time I placed my eyes on you, girl, my heart says follow through. But I know now that I'm way down on your line. But the waiting feel is fine. So don't treat me like a puppet on a string, 'cause I know how to do my thing. Don't talk to me if you think I'm dumb. I wanna know when you're gonna come. See, I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. 'Cause it's summer is here, I'm still waiting there. Winter is here, and I'm still waiting there. Like I said, it's been 3 years since I'm knocking on your door, and I still can knock some more. Ooh, girl, is it feasible? I wanna know now, for I to knock some more. You see, in life I know there's lots of grief, but your love is my relief. Tears in my eyes burn, tears in my eyes burn, while I'm waiting for my turn. See, I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. Oh, I don't wanna wait in vain. No, I don't wanna wait in vain. No, I don't wanna wait in vain. No, I don't wanna wait in vain. It's your love that I'm waiting on. It's my love that you're running from. It's your love that I'm waiting on. It's my love that you're running from.
So Tom is going to read us one last poem to bring us to the end of our ceremony.
Still, by Charmarch. Listen, there is silence now. This stillness. Gradually, we will get used to it, but for now, it is strange. You have left such a gap. Our world is in shock, holding its breath. But listen closer. All of your laughter, all of your love is still ringing out, still holding us. Our memories of you are still with us. All of the love we shared is still in every one of us. And although we ache from the loss of you, you will always be here, as still and steady and fierce as any star. Look, you are shining bright through all of our skies. Thank you for being here with us.
So thank you, Tom. You'll find some memory books here at the front of the room where the family would welcome your comments and anecdotes. Be sure to talk to each other afterwards, share stories and connect with each other. Kim may not be here to circulate and laugh with you, but she would love to see you enjoying her music and each other. We've one final piece of music to close our memorial ceremony. And when this track ends, please get up and move around as we transition into the wake. There will be more music, including a reggae DJ set with David. Tom, Safi and Anne-Marie are looking forward to speaking with you on behalf of the family. Thank you, not only for coming today, but for all your heartfelt messages and kind words. Food is provided by Pom Kitchen from 4:45, and we invite Kim's family and those with children to plate up first, but there's plenty for everyone. So our ceremony is at an end. So please relax and savor some tunes, tell some stories, and relish the afterglow of Kim Scott. Our final track is Black Women by Judy Mowat.
Like me, you struggled long. You trod one of life's roughest roads and get the heaviest load. To be someone to belong, but you're nearing your mile and a half furlong. Don't give up now, just pray for strength now. For you I dedicate my song. La 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 la. Ooh. We are the safe ones in the place. But like Mary and like Joseph, the mother of Moses too, overcame man's evil devices. I dedicate my song for you. La da 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 da. Black woman, black woman, know you've struggled long. I feel your affliction, but you are dedicated my song. La 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 la.
Sure is hot out here. No, I don't mind though. Just glad to be free. You know what I'm saying? What you wanna do? Yeah, yeah. Feel me? What you gonna do?
Of my mind, I just can't seem to find a reason to believe that I can break free. Cause you see, I have been down for so long, feel like all hope is gone. But as I lift my hands, I understand that I should praise you through my circumstance. So I can dance, just wanna praise you, just wanna praise you. Could go wrong, all went wrong at one time. So much pressure fell on me, I thought I was gonna lose my mind.